Catwoman is a 2004 American superhero film directed by Pitof and written by John Rogers, John Brocado, and Michael Ferris from a story by Teresa Rebeck, Brocado, and Ferris, with music by Klaus Bidet. It is loosely based on the DC Comics character Catwoman. The film stars Halle Berry as the title character, along with Benjamin Bratt, Lambert Wilson, Francis Conroy, and Sharon Stone. Welcome back to DC Movie Rewind, where we look back at every live-action DC movie. Today we are discussing Catwoman. With Warner Bros. Developing Batman Forever in June 1993, a Catwoman spin-off film was announced. Tim Burton and Daniel Waters held competing visions for the project. Burton wanted to make an intimate black-and-white drama in homage to Cat People from 1942, while Waters' script followed Catwoman, suffering from amnesia after the events of Batman Returns, and the Las Vegas-like Oasisburg, where she confronted corrupt male superheroes. Michelle Pfeiffer was cast to reprise her role from Batman Returns. Tim Burton became attached as director, and producer Denise Denovi and writer Daniel Waters also returned. In January 1994, Burton was unsure of his plans to direct Catwoman or an adaptation of The Fall of the House of Usher. On June 16, 1995, Waters turned in his Catwoman script to Warner Bros., the same day Batman Forever was released. Burton was still being courted to direct. The project stalled as Burton and Pfeiffer moved on to other work. Michelle Pfeiffer was to reprise her role, with the character not to appear in Forever because of her own spin-off. In an August 1995 interview, Pfeiffer reiterated her interest in the spin-off but explained her priorities would be challenged as a mother and commitments to other projects. In January 1999, writer John August pitched a script, in which Selina Kyle leaves Gotham and goes to her hometown of Lake City. The film labored in development hell for years, with Pfeiffer replaced by Ashley Judd. In 2000, Warner Bros. Commissioned Darren Aronofsky for an adaptation of Batman Year One to reboot the original Batman film franchise. The script featured an African-American Catwoman in a prominent role. However, no further progress was made. The film labored in development hell for years, with Ashley Judd as the lead in 2001, but she eventually dropped out, so Nicole Kidman was considered. When Warner Bros. Canceled the Batman vs. Superman film scheduled for 2004, the studio decided to quickly produce Catwoman as a replacement, starring Halle Berry. Warner Bros. Mandated that the film should be separate from the Batman universe and not have the character mentioned. Berry chose to be involved with the film after the cancellation of Jinx, a James Bond spin-off film featuring her character Giacinta Jinx Johnson from Die Another Day. Josh Lucas was considered for the role of Tom Lone. The Catwoman character featured in the film is not Selina Kyle, her identity in the comics, but an original character named Patience Phillips. Screenwriter John Rogers claimed that this was due to an insane rights issue. The film likewise does not use any other characters or settings from DC Comics, aside from a photograph of Michelle Pfeiffer as Kyle in Batman Returns. It is uncertain whether this movie is considered officially part of the Burtonverse reality that includes the 1980s and 90s Batman movies. Now, let's talk about the production. The movie was produced by Village Roadshow Pictures and distributed by Warner Bros. It was directed by Pitof. The movie was written by John Brocado and Michael Ferris, known for writing Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. The movie was also produced by Denise Denovi. The catsuit was designed by Academy Award-winning costume designer Angus Strafey, together with Berry, director Pitof, and producers Denovi and McDonnell. Berry started intensive fitness training with Harley Pasternak in June 2003. Choreographer Ann Fletcher instructed Berry in cat-like movement and in the Brazilian martial arts style capoeira. Berry was trained to crack a whip by coach Alex Green. Principal photography began in late September 2003. Shooting took place on 4th Street in downtown Los Angeles, California, in Winnipeg, Manitoba, at Lionsgate Film Studios, Vancouver, British Columbia, and at Warner Bros. Burbank Studios in California. Most of the cast in the film came from animal shelters throughout California. Filming finished in March 2004. Pitof said reshoots happened as late as June 2004, 1 month before release, after working cuts yielded confusing, incomplete dialogue sequences and awkward visual transitions. New scenes were added, including a fresh ending that shifted Patience's relationship with Tom from a romantic comedy-style conclusion, as Pitof calls it, to a darker, open-ended closer. Writer John Rogers claimed he was fired during filming due to arguments with the producers. Catwoman was initially slated for a simultaneous IMAX release alongside its general theatrical debut, as promoted by marketing materials featuring the tagline, "Catcher in IMAX." However, on June 30, 2004, Warner Bros. Announced the cancellation of the IMAX release due to delays in the film's visual effects, which prevented sufficient time for remastering the film for the IMAX format. Catwoman grossed $40.2 million in the United States and Canada, and $42.2 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $82.4 million against a production budget of $100 million, becoming a box office flop. The film grossed $16.7 million in its opening weekend at 3,117 theaters with a 5,366 per theater average, ranking third behind The Bourne Supremacy and I, Robot. The biggest market in other territories is France, Spain, Japan, and Mexico, where the film grossed $5.2 million, $4.05, $3.05, and $2.9 million, while topping the Bulgarian weekend listing. It had a budget of $100 million and made $82.4 million at the box office. It currently has an 8% critic score and an 18% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, a 3.5 out of 10 on IMDb, and a 27 Metacritic score. Catwoman was widely panned by critics upon release. It's considered one of the worst films ever made, although it has developed a cult following. In July 2024, marking the film's 20th anniversary, director Pitof defended the film, stating that it was ahead of its time and that the audiences were unprepared for a superhero film led by an African-American woman. He noted that younger viewers have received the film more positively, in part due to shifts in inclusivity and expectations within the genre. Despite its critical reception, Berry has expressed affection for the film in retrospect, stating that she enjoyed the experience and appreciates its growing cult following. Berry accepted the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actress in person at the 25th Golden Raspberry Awards for her performance in Catwoman. Arriving on stage with her Academy Award for Best Actress for Monsters Ball in hand, Berry delivered a humorous and self-deprecating acceptance speech. In a later interview, Berry revealed that Warner Bros. Was aware of her plans to attend the ceremony and supported her decision to approach it with humor. She noted the speech was carefully written to show that she did not take the criticism too seriously. The film was nominated for 6 other Razzie Awards, including Worst Picture, which it won, Worst Director for Pitof, which he won, Worst Supporting Actor for Lambert Wilson, Worst Supporting Actress for Sharon Stone, Worst Screen Couple for Halle Berry and either Benjamin Bratt or Sharon Stone, and Worst Screenplay for John Brocato, Michael Ferris, and John Rogers, which it also won. A video game based on Catwoman was developed by Argonaut Games and published by Electronic Arts UK. The game features voice acting by Jennifer Hale as the titular character. Although it draws inspiration from the film, the game's plot differs significantly. Upon release, it received negative reviews like the film it was based on and holds a low rating on Metacritic. In 2003, Warner Bros. Approached Batman the Animated Series producer Boyd Kirkland to write a script for a direct-to-video Catwoman animated feature intended as a tie-in to the film. Although the script was completed, the project was ultimately cancelled following the film's critical and commercial failure. Catwoman would appear again in film 8 years later, in 2012's The Dark Knight Rises. With that being said, thanks for watching. Next time, we'll be talking about Constantine.
If you enjoyed this episode and would like to see more, consider giving a like or rating and subscribing with notifications so you never miss an episode. It's free. Also feel free to check out our other episodes and share this podcast with others on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next time on Movie Rewind.